Hi, it's Coach Lynn with another success tip.
It's the Lynn Johnson.
From the moment a boy is born, he's told what to do, what to play with, how to act, what's expected of him, and what it means to be a boy. The thing is, with all of these perceptions about what is boy, it leads a boy to believe certain things about himself. It even leads a man to believe certain things about his boy. With all these perspectives about what is boy and what is not, it kind of skews your vision a little bit. As a matter of fact, it can even make a big boy feel rather small. And so, what is boy? Thank you so much for all the letters that you've been sending me to dearcoach@lynnjohnsonprosperity.com. I have a letter from one of my readers and one of my viewers and one of the listeners on my show who asked me, Coach Lynn, is it okay that my husband never hugs and kisses our sons? In the culture where I was raised, it was expected and okay that my husband or the fathers kissed their sons. However, in this culture, in American culture, sons are not hugged and kissed when daughters are. That is a very good question. And here's her answer. What does it do to our boys if they are not hugged or kissed? I got another question from a mom, and it says, Coach Lynn, it really worries me about the messages fed to my son. He is 13 years old, and he keeps saying things like boys will be boys. What does it mean? I see him watching sexually explicit shows for his age, as well as not understanding the ramifications of portraying women as objects. Thank you for that question. And I'm asked that question so many times, and we will be talking about how in future videos, the ramifications for the statistics behind 1 in 6 women, every 6 women from the ages 14 to 24 has been traumatized or raped or been a victim of violent crime. The answer to that question is twofold. First of all, sit down and talk to your son and let him know that society has these messages that are very prevalent, that a woman's place is in a bikini with heels. Let him know that that's a little bit ridiculous. There aren't very many of us who would like to walk around in heels with a bikini on. But actually, tell your son that women and girls are not objects of just desire and pleasure. However, love is an important ingredient with any of those types of things. And as a mom, show him some other options in terms of women or girls being in powerful roles that highlight their intelligence, let's say. Just as you might ask your son, is he built up? Is he 100% man? Does he pound on his chest? If not, and he's creative or artistic or he likes to cook, you might point out how ridiculous it is to stereotype either boys or girls. They're just people. I got a letter from a single father named Dan. Well, he's not actually a single father. He and his wife were divorced. And Dan has been out of his son's life for some time. He's trying to re-enter his son's life and is spending a lot more time with his son, who is now 10 years old. He is asking me, what can I tell my son about the relationship between myself and his mother? What can I do to enter his life again? My answer to you, Dan, is that's a very good question. Thank you so much for asking. So many times when a mother and a father divorce, the father or the mother also divorces the child. It's very important to be a part of your child's life, to let them know that you're still there. For whatever reason that you were out of your child's life, you are now back in it. So you must be honest and make the strides that you would have made and explain to them that you are not happy that you missed some of these developmental milestones in their life. However, you're here now and that you want a nice, open relationship, and the relationship that you have with his mother is a separate relationship from the one that you have with him. Reestablish a pattern with your son so that he begins to trust that you will come when you say you will, and you will do the things that you say you're going to do. There's nothing worse and more damaging to a child than for a parent to make promises and not keep them. So in terms of spending time with your son, don't have expectations at first. The only expectations are that you are getting to know your child. So allow him to choose what you will do. Also, what we find many times with the single parent or a parent who is re-entering a child's life after a divorce, even a bitter one, is that the second parent tries to buy their way or favor their way into this relationship. This is unnecessary and sets up a very dysfunctional relationship and pattern for the relationship with your child. Get to know your child based on the kind of person this child is. It's pretty hard to affirm anyone if you don't know who they are. Going back to the very first question that I was asked by one of my viewers about whether it's okay and why men don't kiss and hug their children or their sons in this country, but it's acceptable for them to hug and kiss their daughters. Look, there are many stereotypes about boys. It's all of our faults, but is this a window into what we truly think? And at least unconsciously, of the entire male species? Men and boys are just as needy of attention and love than anyone else. For us to act as if they don't need emotion and they don't need love is for us to say, it's not expected that we can do any better than this. All over the world, there are many cultures of men who believe in being affectionate, open, and honest with their boys. It's very important that the boys feel comfortable. The boys of today have a range of emotion. In other words, that they're able to feel sensitive, and their sensitivity does not make them any less strong. That they're able to want affection. That's a human thing, not a male or a gender issue. That they're also comfortable with their own feelings and who they are as males. It's up to us as a society to understand that we're setting a very low bar if we continue to allow men to be raised with the idea that they're some type of superhuman being or they're expected to be. In coaching, what we see very often is a man who is grappling at some point in his life with the fact that he is feeling weak because he's either aging or because something has happened to his health or because his relationship has fallen apart because he was unable to show feelings or that he's masking his real emotions by working too much or drinking or a ton of other behavior that comes out. The bottom line is, what we need to do is question ourselves and stop and ask ourselves, what do we think about men? I think that men are beautiful human beings who desire love like all the rest of us. What I don't think is that we should put them up to a self-fulfilling prophecy of having to be strong all the time, because that is impossible. Please, if you want to know more, we have future broadcasts on everything that you can imagine, from self-esteem to mind control, to what it takes to raise a child, to what it takes to go to work and balance out everything. So come on back and see some more videos with Coach Lynn, and go give us your questions, comments, and concerns. Send this video to all of your friends and tell them to sign up to our subscription series of Coach Lynn's motivational tips. Listen to the show at AskLynnJohnson.com and see where it's playing on the radio near you. And prosper.
It's the Lynn Johnson Show. Motivation, talking motivation. Lynn Johnson Show. Motivation.